Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to this community showdown. It's going to be the Vampire Coast led by Zyro facing off against the Warriors of Chaos, who shall be helmed by Weber Cooks here on the Pit of the Everchosen, which is an awesome map. Pretty much start face-to-face with your opponent. Okay, it looks like both players are going to be opting to play that game. So sometimes you'll see people deploy in the back of the deployment zone and just kind of fall back, but no, these guys are going at it right away. So we're going to pause for a quick second and take a look at all of the different units here. So deckhand mobs in the front, backed up by animated hulks. Okay, so it's just a straight up brawler. I'm going to get in your face rush build. Yeah, so we got crabs, we got hulks, lamprey's revenge. Celestra is going to be rocking tide call, which is really good against light troopers like marauders, for example. And Gallows Giant as well. Okay, so Gallows Giant I've been seeing a lot of. In the past couple tournaments I played in, I've run into Vampire Coast, and they have brought Gallows Giant against me, and it's not like they're memeing. It's like actually as if this thing has some applications, which I'd be very, very shocked to find out. But we're going to find out here on today's episode. On the other side, Weber's going to be rocking Marauder dual weapons. Not a bad choice here. Baseline Marauders honestly get the job done, though, so you can probably go a little bit cheaper with those. Great Opens, Aspiring Champions are god tier in this matchup. They don't care about bombers. They're really durable, and they can grind down zombies all freaking day. So I love the Aspiring Champions. And we got Marauders with a Firecaster, also very, very meta and very strong with a couple Chaos Warriors. Looks like they're like facing out this way to come grab this objective, and the other one's going to be taking the frontal fight. So let's get this party started. Yeah, it's going to get going real quick here. The Hulks of the coast, Hulk Smash, going to be moving in, I would imagine. Crabs also getting ready to engage. And Objective 3 is going to be going to Vampire Coast out of the gates. They presented a lot more capture weight there, so fighting over the initial... There wasn't originally an objective on the middle, if memory serves, on this map, and did get reworked. Okay, big burning head going to be coming down. That could be pretty thick. Potentially getting a couple zombies as it gets right into the face of the zombie hordes and cooks a lot of those units, and also manages to mosey on through some of the crabs, which does lower leadership but doesn't do a lot of damage. Now, let's really evaluate what it did. One zombie unit is on its way out. The other one got cooked a little bit. Tide Call going to be a response from Celestra, so it's splashing him with some water, as there is going to be a... Whoa, so was that a Sleipnir? I think yes, from Valkia. Okay. Now, this is a little bit scary for Celestra. She is a ghost, and Valkia does do magic damage. Now, Valkia isn't excellent at killing like foot-based characters, but even still, her melee attack is 64, even without considering her anti-large. So, I mean, she can definitely beat down Celestra, who is going to be summoning out the Knights Errant as a bit of a panic response to try and force her out. Now, looking at the side objectives here, we do see objective number 1 is going to be probably taken by the Warriors of Chaos. So Weber going to be moving out with the Aspiring Champions, and they're going to be shield bashing some of these undead doggos off the objective. Meanwhile, on Objective 2, we do see the Horsemen of Chaos grabbing that in tandem with the Chaos Warriors. And the middle, though, decisive victory for Vampire Coast. I mean, they committed a lot of resources to that fight, a lot of crabs, a lot of animated hulks, whereas a lot of the Chaos assets are like out here fighting on the objectives and whatnot, right? So not as much of a commitment from the player there. Gallows Giant, though, curious to see what this thing is going to do. Certainly has gotten some value so far. Nothing crazy, but it has performed. Nothing funny on the outside here. We don't see any call-ins for Chaos. And it looks like Chaos is just going to be playing this game here. Just trying to hold Objective 1 and Objective 2 and, trying to get the middle back from this undead horde. I mean, there's a lot of undead coming out. That ain't going to be easy. So I hope the Gallows Giant moves up and gets some cool flamethrower attacks. That would be very, very fun to see. Call-in is going to be Depth Guard, so the Depth Guard are a great call-in here. They will have enough armor piercing to deal with a lot of the Aspiring Champion type units. They will struggle into Chaos Warrior Great Weapons, though. That won't be a good fight for them. The Chaos Warriors will uptrade into them from a cost perspective very well, and they're going to want to rethink their decisions. Oh, by the way, did I mention that the Chaos player has the Swords of Chaos? Just one of the coolest units ever. So Swords of Chaos are rolling in and cleaning up whatever they can. Swords of Chaos also rear charging into the Depth Guard, who are fighting something else, could be pretty cost effective, but Chaos does have its grips on these two objectives. Meanwhile, Valkia the Bloody going to be doing glorious battle here with the Gallows Giant. So Gallows Giant's going to be getting cooked, 8,177 HP, as Valkia the Bloody's going to be disengaging, and I would imagine preparing to cycle charge. So Coastage is kind of trying to figure out where it wants to go right now, and it looks like they're doing a wide push. We do have elements moving towards Objective 2, and also we have elements moving towards Objective 1. So they're going to be playing the entire field here, as Chaos is going to get a beautiful Burning Head right there. Not Burning Head, Sleipnir, excuse me, but Sleipnir still does do some good damage against both those units. But yeah, not too much to really use Sleipnir on. Depth Guard obviously would be better, but here comes the ambush. We do have Sirens. Now, this is another reason why Aspiring Champions are incredibly meta in this matchup. They, of course, do magic damage, so against all the ghostly units, they can really, really shine. And immediately, Weber is going to see this and is going to be allocating the Aspiring Champions to move in and do glorious, glorious battle with the Sirens. So the shield bashes are underway, and the damage is going to be coming on in, as we do see the Sirens start to get folded up a little bit. They are not happy about that. Depth Guard definitely should have taken that fight and let the Sirens rotate elsewhere, but in the heat of the moment, it's easy to miss. Vampire Coast going to be rolling over here. Zyro does get his Hulks and his zombies. The Tide of Skuld to grab this. Valkia and her Firecaster, as well as a Column of Aspiring Champions, are going to be looking to contest that point. And Aspiring Champs can definitely tank most of these units. The animated Hulks can hit them, but they do have 45 melee defense, and individual HP on those models is pretty nutty. So yeah, they can fight for some time. Looking on the other side, Swords of Chaos have committed to the fight, and they do end up taking a fight versus animated Hulks, and it looks like they're doing okay. I mean, that's not their ideal target. If they could get on crabs, it'd be way better. Their armor piercing would just be better used, but they're doing okay, wearing down a Hulk unit. But Celestra does have good AP herself, so do these things. And the Gallows Giant looks to be sitting there and shooting. I believe it's been shooting. It does have 62 kills, about 700 value, and let's actually give this thing some shine right now as it moves in with its flamethrower hand. And is it going to use its flamethrower attack? It's struggling, but it does have some decent melee attacks. There you go. All right, cooking some of the Chaos Knights. That actually was a really cool shot, as the Swords of Chaos got roasted right there. And it does, lower their leadership by 8, so those bad boys are going to be on the run. Zyro currently holding a value lead of 4,000 against 2.7. This objective pretty heavily contested. Vampire Coast did get it, but the Burning Heads in tandem with Valkia and the Reinforcing Marauders going to make it very, very hard to hold. Aspiring Chad's also doing good. A little bit of a misplay here. In a situation like this, the Chaos Sorcerer should be sitting on the objective. It might not matter too much in this situation, but in a close game, that extra 3 capture weight can make all the difference. Vampire Coast does get a decisive victory up towards Objective 1, though. They are able to crush the forces of Chaos using the Sirens. The advancing Depth Guard were able to beat the Aspiring Champions. We do also get some hand cannons being called in, pistol mobs, and in the bushes, the Hellstriders of Slaanesh are able to fend off the Hounds. Although Hounds are infantry size, so they don't hate fighting the Hellstriders of Slaanesh. It's not the worst trade, but yeah, it is what it is. But Chaos able to also rotate back over and grab Objective 3. It looks like some Haggard Marauders did rally, so Vampire Coast, they definitely blundered not leaving something there, leaving like a 300 gold capture weight unit or something, I don't know, like Morgul's are incredibly good in this matchup too. They're very sneaky. Morgul's counter the Aspiring Champions. They counter pretty much all the Chaos Infantry with the exception of Halberds. So I really, really do like Morgul's. Granted, animated Hulks kind of fulfill a similar role, just cheaper and, allow you to go a little bit wider. So I like Morgul's, though, because people don't see them coming. That's really, really something that can mess people up. Now, on this side, we do see Objective 1 being held by Zyro. Objective 3 is being held by the Warriors of Chaos and Weber, as is Objective 2 right here. And we do see the Zombie Pirate Gunnery Mob with its hand cannons blasting on away into the Chaos Sorcerer, who is able to run out of its arc of fire right there, so he does flee the scene. While the Scurvy Doggos here are going to be attacking into the Hellstriders of Slaanesh, as are the Zombie Pirate Gunnery Mobs. So, yeah, they're terrible in combat, but, bodies are bodies. And overall, in the state of the game, definitely looks like Vampire Coast is ahead. I mean, they've had a lot of good trades, crushing the Aspiring Champion Corps over here. And the Colossus is, in theory, should be good against Valkia. It is an anti-infantry monster, and we'll see how it does against Valkia in sustained combat. But, I mean, they'll trade evenly into each other, theoretically speaking. Demon Shield is activated. That's going to give her complete ward save against all damage. And Vampire Coast now going to be making their way up to the high ground with the Sirens and the Lamprey's Revenge, who are super healthy. Definitely not looking good for Chaos. The Blood Beasts, a good choice here. They'll do good enough damage against Sirens and should have good AP against the Lamprey's Revenge, albeit I think they would lose that 2v1, but not the worst trading in the world. And we do see a couple Scurvy Dogs hunting down what they can. Vampire Coast pretty solidified over here. They have a hand cannon mob. They have some Hulks as well as a healthy Depth Guard unit. So now if they could just kind of focus all their efforts on holding one other objective for the remainder of the game, that is going to be incredibly money. So the Blood Beasts have arrived on the objective, and they apparently, Creative Assembly did do a pass on the unit caps, and they did not get the Mark of Khorne added on the Warriors of Chaos roster. So basically the status quo is now that Warriors of Chaos can just bring Blood Beasts, which are a very good monster. Arguably, though, Armored Chaos Trolls are super good, too. Blood Beasts, though, are a little bit more elite, and they do have higher leadership, so they're more stable than a Armored Chaos Troll. But, there are situations in which the Armored Chaos Troll is just better. It regenerates and has 100 armor, give or take, or 90 armor, can't remember. But, yeah, Blood Beast's going to lose this fight, though. There's just too much here. The Sirens and the Lamprey's Revenge, Charmed is going to be lowering their melee attack. It's looking like this game is definitely on the precipice of being over. Really, really nice usage of the Salt Lords, Gutlers. They're really good under Chaos circumstances, they're good against Chaos, but chaotic circumstances, because now Chaos is down in value. They're trying to scrap their way back, but they don't have the extra assets on the field to shut down these Salt Lord Scuttlers. And really, the only way that Chaos shuts those down effectively is Hell Cannon, Marauder Horseman, or Buna, or spells like that, right? But you're not going to be able to present any of those right now. So we do see the Gallows Giant able to get the high ground point. Blood Beasts are terrified and pushed off. And I think that's just got to be it, right? We'll do a little bit of fast forwarding here. We do see the Depth Guard holding. Fireside Objective is just getting melted. Those guys are getting so much value. A couple Hellstriders do get called in as well, but the Salt Lord Scuttlers are just cleaning up house on that point. And the high ground is completely under the control of the Vampire Coast as well. We do see some Chaos Resurgence, but that was only because these guys moved off the objective. When they get back on the objective, they can get in there. And the Gallows Giant definitely getting some value. 1400 isn't terrible. I would like to see it move into melee. I think it's more effective there. But the Flamethrower, okay, that wasn't bad. That was actually one of the rare sightings in which it does like a centralized shot there. So that was actually kind of cool. More Sirens going to be reinforcing. Looks like the forces of the Chaos were able to hold objective 2. Some pistol mobs going to be sent over there to threaten that, put some pressure on. Depth Guard polearms, it wouldn't be a bad idea to maybe send them to objective 2 also, because this one's pretty well under control, I would say. Granted, the Gallows Giant is being threatened here, but yeah, we just see that Chaos really doesn't have too much in the field. A couple, waves of infantry, but we have a full health Lamprey's Revenge right here, right? That's going to be so incredibly tough, and really nice tide call right there by Zyro as well. So that is able to cook some units. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, we do have objective 1 being held. No threats to that. Pistol mobs moving this way. Depth Guard polearms also going to be heading this way, and there's not really much Chaos can send to effectively deal with these. A Marauder Great Open would be like the most cost-effective bet, but it looks like Zyro's going to be playing it safe, which isn't a bad idea, and moving the Halberds up to the high ground to really try and clinch that objective rather than going for like the game-ending play here of the far side. But a little bit of fast forwarding. I think this game's over here. We do see a little bit of harassment with the Hellstriders on the outside, but Chaos is just so cooked here. Wow, the Gallows Giant actually getting some good attacks there, roasting up some infantry. Tide Call coming in as well. Going to be busting those infantry, and we do see the backside objective taken by some Hounds. Blood Beasts are called out, but it's too late, and that is going to be a triple cap. Literally no chance at this point. Valkia going to be trying to get a consolation prize of going after Celastra, but not going to find it. Mass Terror route, GG, well played. Really fun match. That was cool, man. And the Chaos build wasn't bad. I think more aspiring champions these are not worth your mark of Chaos. These guys, they are not, straight up. Hellstriders are always good, so that was a good usage of them. Blood Beasts are good. Swords of Chaos are a bit of a meme pick. I don't like them that much in this matchup, but super badass to see them in play. If they could have found the Lamprey's Revenge on their own, that could have been cost effective, but overall, yeah, like cut the dual weapon boys, cut these guys. Like the Great Open Warriors are just going to get pounded by Crabs and Warngulls and Hulks, and get aspiring champions and Marauders and match their width, right? And that's going to be your best bet. And against this build, I mean, Marauder Horsemen could drag down a lot of the monsters too, but Valky's a good choice, Firecaster's a good choice, and yeah, Blood Beasts are good against Depth Guard, and I also do like these. So yeah, there's elements of both builds that are quite good. And for Zyro, yeah, it was cool. He played the map. He played the aggression on the Ever-Chosen Pit. No complaints there. It was super fun. Celastra 1400, Gallows Giant 1900, 27 on Lamprey's Giga Chad Revenge there. Really strong. And the Bats came in and did some work as well. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that one. We'll see you with more replay soon, and that's going to be it for tonight.